Video bites from ulearn.photography. Here's our principal, Simon Q. Walden.
Welcome to another video bite, and we've got a question in from Graham who says at a wedding recently he saw that the wedding photographer was using two cameras and switching between them all the time, and he wanted to know why. Basically, why are they shooting with two cameras at the same time? What's the benefit? And actually, it's an interesting question. I'll be honest, I can think of reasons, but I don't know what the specific reason might have been in this case. So, first of all, it might just be for backup purposes. By shooting on two cameras, if something happens to one set of equipment, then they know they've got half the wedding on the other camera. And if you've seen the YouTube video of the guy falling in the font in the church, you'll have seen him lose not one but both cameras at the same time, of course. But it might just be, for that reason, as a security measure. Maybe in the past they've had an issue with a card going down or something like that. I do take two cameras, one as a backup, but I'm only using one camera. The other is literally there in case the first camera fails, but it stays in the car or whatever. It might be that they're shooting with different lenses. Maybe they've got a more wide angle lens on one and a longer lens on the other. But then I don't quite understand then why they'd be switching all the time. I do shoot with two different lenses, and I'll give you a really good example. During the speeches, I'll have camera with a wide angle lens on for capturing the broad scene, and then I'll have a second camera with my long lens on, my 300mm lens, for capturing headshots. But that is the only time that I use two cameras at the same time. And in fact, even then, I'll only use one and just flip between lenses. So I think that's probably not what's going on here. I could conceive that they might have different settings on the two cameras. Let's say they know that the bulk of the output is going to be monochrome. I could imagine that they might set the picture style on one of the cameras to be monochrome, so the JPEGs are monochrome, but they'll be shooting in RAW on both cameras. So that way, they'll have RAW full color files, but they'll be able to generate either color or monochrome. But by having the picture style on monochrome, it means when they chimp, they can see a black and white version, so they've got a sense of what's going on. Or it might be they're doing something like they've got a low ISO on one and a high ISO on the other. But again, I'm not sure why they'd be switching between them on any one shoot. Indoors, possibly. I could see indoors you might use a low ISO, which means you're going to be on the borders of getting enough aperture or enough shutter speed that camera shake or motion blur might be an issue. But you didn't want to go high ISO all the time because noise could have been an issue. So I could see you might be switching either, as sort of a belt and braces. But short answer is, I'm really not sure why you'd shoot with two at the same time, not on one person. So if you are a wedding photographer and you do shoot two cameras side by side, let us know why.
Subscribe now for regular tips and updates. To find out more, go to ulearn.photography.